Many a times I get this question. What are the technologies and frameworks that I should learn to become a Java full stack developer? So guys, in this video, let us discuss on what are the technologies and frameworks that you should learn to become a Java full stack developer. Let us get started. You all know Java full stack development is a combination of both backend and front-end technologies. Now let us discuss this in detail. Backend and front-end. In case of backend, these are the things that you need to learn. Technology and API, the database, support tools, version control, testing, frameworks, CI/CD, containerization. Now let us discuss these categories in detail. Since this is Java full stack development, in case of technology, of course you all know you should learn Java. Already I have added a roadmap of what are the concepts that you need to learn in Java. Let me put it in a nutshell. In case of Java, you should be good in OOPS concepts, interfaces, exception handling, multi-threading, and the inbuilt Java APIs, that is java.lang package, java.io, wherein you will be learning about the input-output streams, collection API, streams API, concurrency API, datetime API. Now, the next thing is, I have a Java application. I want to integrate my Java application with the database. So, for that, we need to learn one other API which is JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. So, the technology is Java, the API is together with Streams API, Collection API. You should know how to use JDBC API to integrate your Java application with the database. Okay, in case of database, what are the databases that I should learn? We can divide this database in two categories. One is RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. The other one is NoSQL databases, not only SQL databases. Under RDBMS, we have MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL. Under NoSQL database, we have MongoDB and Couchbase. Postgres also can be considered as a NoSQL database. So in this case, it is not necessary that you should know the working of all the databases. Pick and choose one database from RDBMS and one from NoSQL. In case of RDBMS, you can choose MySQL. In case of NoSQL, you can work with MongoDB database. Nowadays, Postgres is very widely used in enterprise application because it supports both relational and non-relational databases. Okay. The next one is support tool. Whenever you are working with a basic Java application, you create it as a Java project. But when you are working with application which are dependent on third-party libraries, that is external dependencies, you need a support tool. The support tool can be Maven or Gradle. These are called as project management tools. These support tools help in various functionalities as in compiling your application, building your application, packaging it, testing the application, generating the documentation. All these can be performed in a single shot using this Maven or Gradle. Preferably Maven is used because it is stable. So the project management tool over here is Maven. Next is version control. Whenever multiple people are working in a team, it is mandatory to collaborate among themselves to share the project. So you need a tool like version control. Here the version control tool that you need to learn is Git. Git is a version control system with the help of which you can collaborate with your teammates and work with applications. The next one is testing. Now that I have created a Java application which can be integrated with a database using JDBC. Now I have to test my application. For testing these applications, we need to learn two frameworks. One is JUnit, the other one is Mockito. JUnit is a unit testing framework. It is used for testing Java classes without any dependencies. If your class is not having any dependency of other classes, then it is enough that you can work with JUnit. Mockito is also a unit testing framework, but it is used for testing applications which are having external dependencies. Suppose if your class is dependent on other classes, you need to use only Mockito. So it means for testing, you need to learn two frameworks, JUnit and Mockito. Next comes the frameworks. Of course, you all know what are the frameworks that we need to learn for Java full stack. One is Spring, the other one is Hibernate. Spring is an open source framework with the help of which you can develop console based applications, that is standalone applications, web applications, REST APIs and also microservices. To develop Spring applications, we will be working with Spring Boot. So you need to learn Spring framework using Spring Boot. The next one is Hibernate. Hibernate is an ORM framework, Object Relational Mapping Framework. Whenever you want to integrate your Spring application with a database, instead of using JDBC, you can work with Hibernate. Of course, you can use Hibernate together with Java applications also. When you say ORM framework, this means your Java class will be converted into a table. The properties will be converted into columns. The Java objects will be converted into rows. So, for integrating your Spring application with the database, you can use Hibernate. Or, you can also work with MyBatis. MyBatis is a persistence framework. With the help of MyBatis also, you can integrate your Spring application with the database. What is the difference between Hibernate and MyBatis? In case of Hibernate, you will be working in terms of Java. In case of MyBatis, you will be explicitly working with the native SQL queries. Okay. The next one is CI and CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. For this, you need to understand about Jenkins. The next one is containerization. Once my Spring application is ready, I want to containerize it and deploy it. So for that, you have to learn Docker. So these are the things that you need to learn in case of backend. Let me summarize this now. So for backend, in case of technology and API, it is Java and JDBC. And for database, in case of RDBMS databases, that is relational databases, choose MySQL. For NoSQL databases, choose MongoDB. And together with that, it is an added advantage if you learn Postgres, because Postgres supports both relational and non-relational data. In case of support tools, you can work with Maven. For version control, it is Git. In case of testing, it is mandatory that you should learn both JUnit and Mockito. The next one is frameworks. In case of frameworks, it is Spring and Hibernate. Together with Hibernate, of course, you will also learn JPA, Java Persistence API. For CI and CD, it is Jenkins. For containerization, it is Docker. So these are the technologies and frameworks that you need to learn for backend. Now let us see what are the technologies and frameworks that we need to learn for the front-end part. In case of front-end, the first thing that we will be learning is, of course you all know, it is HTML. HTML is used for creating web pages, that is creating and structuring the web pages. Now what if I want to provide styling for the web pages? Then we need to learn CSS, cascading style sheet. Together with that, you should also have an understanding of the frameworks of CSS. It can be either Bootstrap or Material. Of late, Material is being used with front-end applications. Other than this, you can also learn about the advanced topics of CSS, which provides functionality for your CSS styling. They are SASS, Syntactically Awesome Style Sheet. The other one is SCSS. Both look similar only. This is sassy CSS. The next programming language that you need to learn after this is JavaScript. JavaScript helps to develop interactive web applications. With the help of JavaScript, you can validate your application, you can add animation, you can do event handling and much more. In case of JavaScript, you should learn ES6 and ES7. ECMAScript 6, ECMAScript 7. But to start from the basics, that is ES5. You should know what is JavaScript, why we are using JavaScript, where we should add the JavaScript code, what are the different types of dialog boxes in JavaScript, what are functions, how to do event handling, how to create and add elements in a HTML page using JavaScript, how to do validation of a form using JavaScript. So first start with the basics, go through ES5, then move on to ES6 for the advanced concepts, as in how to create classes using the class keyword, how to work with arrow functions, how to use template literals and so on. Okay. The next technology that you need to learn is TypeScript. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. This means it has got more functionalities than JavaScript. TypeScript is mandatory that if you are going to work with the front-end framework Angular, or else it is not that much required. So I will just have it as an optional technology to be learned. Okay. So these are the technologies that you need to learn for front-end. What about the frameworks? In case of frameworks, it is Angular framework which helps to develop SPA, single page applications. Then what about React? React is not a framework. React is a JavaScript library. Using React also, you can develop single page applications, that is single page web applications. When you are working with Angular, Angular prefers to use TypeScript. So it is mandatory that you should know how to work with TypeScript before jumping into Angular. In case of React, of course React uses only JavaScript. You should be in and out very good in JavaScript. Now let us summarize this. In case of front end, you need to learn HTML, CSS. For CSS, try to learn a CSS framework. Of late, Material is being used, so learn Material. Then JavaScript, learn the advanced concepts of JavaScript using ES6 and ES7 because it is using the concept of class, template, literals, arrow functions and many more. Then TypeScript. TypeScript again is optional. If you want to learn the front-end framework as Angular, it is mandatory that you need to use TypeScript. If you are going to work with React, it is enough that you should know how to use JavaScript. Okay, fine. These are the technologies that you need to learn for the front end. Now that you have learned the front end and back end technologies, the last step is integration. Integrating your back end application with the front end application. You need to know how to integrate your front end application with the back end application. This means you should know how to make API calls from the front end Angular or React application to the backend Spring REST API or microservices. Only if you have learned the integration of front-end application with the back-end application, it means that your learning is complete. Now you are a Java full stack developer. I hope it is clear. These are the technologies and frameworks that you need to learn to become a Java full stack developer. Thank you.